The film begins by showing a faraway island in the Indian Ocean where really dangerous criminals are sent. These criminals have been given life sentences, so they'll be stuck on the island forever. At that place, there are 12 different countries, including Indonesia, that send their prisoners to this island. Next, the scene showing a heart-pounding scene where a young child and her mother find themselves pursued by a menacing gang of convicts on the island. Despite the overwhelming odds, the brave mother, named Molly, valiantly fights back, managing to take down a few of their attackers. However, the sheer number of the criminals eventually overwhelms them, and Molly and her daughter, Jean, are captured. Just as their captors prepare to whisk them away, a recently arrived convict emerges from the shadows. This man is Kim, a former police officer and Interpol agent, found himself in a difficult situation after being convicted for the brutal murder of a mafia boss's entire family. Then, determined to protect Jean and Molly, he fought and defeated each attacker one by one. Finally, when all the threats were eliminated, Kim asked one of the defeated criminals about the whereabouts of someone named Coon. To his surprise, they discovered that Coon was actually their boss, and the criminals were more terrified of Coon than they were of Kim. It turned out, Coon is a former mafia leader who now controls the entire island, and he is known for being extremely cruel to prisoners. At his place, there are no rules against them killing each other. Meanwhile, Kim, who has been freed by Jean, asks her to take him to her group, and they take along the unconscious Molly. Then, when they arrive at the hideout, they find many people hiding there, scared of Coon and his brutal gang. Meanwhile, Bao, the leader of the hideout, initially wants to kick out Kim, but Jean explains that Kim helped her and Molly. Shortly after, Bao scolds Jean for going too far, leading to her capture by Coon's men and even causing harm to her mother. Then, Kim asks Bao if he knows where Coon is because he wants to eliminate him. At that time, Bao is shocked since Coon is not only the ruler of the island, but also a very violent person. It turned out there is a history between Kim and Coon. In the past, Coon was the person who was responsible for the heart-wrenching loss of Kim's beloved wife and children. Seeking answers, Bao suggests that Molly might hold crucial information about Coon's whereabouts. However, when Bao asks Kim about it, he remains silent, his emotions held tightly within. After a few hours pass, Bao returns to Kim, carrying a weighty warning. He cautions Kim not to harbor any hope of facing Coon, filling the air with an intimidating presence. As the sun rises on a new day, Jean rejoices with a glimmer of happiness. Her mother, now recovered, brings solace to her heart. Overwhelmed with guilt, she offers a sincere apology for her mother having suffered at the hands of Coon's henchmen while searching for her along the shoreline. Then, in an unexpected turn, Molly catches sight of Kim. Without a moment's hesitation, she levels her gun at him and it makes him shock. Kim, once a police officer, was the very person who had dispatched Molly and her husband to this desolate island long ago. It was during that fateful time that Molly, unbeknownst to Kim, carried the precious life of Jean within her womb, just 1 month pregnant. So, the island harbored a dark secret that Molly and her husband were sent there because they were notorious assassins, responsible for countless lives lost. Born on the island itself, Jean was the unintended consequence of a hidden pregnancy, as the authorities were unaware of Molly's condition at the time. Moved by a desire to protect Kim, Molly offered to disclose Coon's whereabouts. In the afternoon, Kim pressed on toward the volcano, determined to confront Coon. But then, Jean suddenly appeared right behind him, but she was caught in a really dangerous trap. Then, Jean revealed a revelation that she knew a shortcut to the volcano, and she implored Kim to release her. While they were standing at the edge of a big cliff, Jean told Kim about how much she hated Coon. She said that her dad used to be in charge of the island, and he was also an assassin like Coon. But instead of being bad, her dad wanted to change and be good. Sadly, Coon was really mean and killed her dad and his friends without mercy. The scene shifts back to Kim and Jean as they journey together. Along the way, they stumble upon their fellow group members, bearing visible signs of being mercilessly beaten by Coon's henchmen. In a momentary daze, Kim's eyes fixate on a doll identical to the one his daughter once cherished. As this poignant memory fades, Jean is discreetly whisked away by 2 of Coon's men. Regaining his composure, Kim casually tails them, ultimately trailing them into an abandoned building. Inside, he discovers a group of deliberate captives under the control of Coon's men. Without hesitation, he unleashes swift justice, eliminating Coon's men who dared to hold these innocent souls against their will. After Kim defeated a lot of bad guys in the first building, he bravely went into the next one. He knew there would be more tough enemies waiting for him, but he was ready to face them with courage. Undeterred, he pushes forward, determined to overcome any obstacle. Finally, Kim reaches the third building, where he discovers Jean held captive. In front of Kim, there was a person who was very close to Coon and was supposed to protect the building. Things were getting really intense, and they started fighting again. But Kim didn't give up. With his strong determination, he defeated the person and all the people with them. And it was a big victory for him. Soon after, Kim urges Jean to return to the safety of the hideout. As Jean departs, a lurking enemy prepares to strike Kim from behind, but luckily, Molly, accompanied by Bao and his men who were searching for Jean, arrives just in time to intervene. Regrettably, Jean has already left the location. Determined not to return empty-handed, they release the prisoners confined in that place, offering them a chance at freedom. Meanwhile, one of Coon's men manages to escape, hastening to deliver news of the encounter to Coon himself. Upon reaching headquarters, he recounts a harrowing tale of a formidable man who single-handedly eliminated everyone, actively seeking out Coon. When Coon heard about what happened, he remembered something from the past. He had hurt Kim really badly and had even killed Kim's family without showing any mercy. Now, Coon was filled with a strong desire for revenge. He quickly sent his best fighters to find and capture Kim as soon as possible. A few hours pass. Jean finds herself in the sights of a group of archers under Coon's command. At that time, a female archer takes aim, intent on ending Jin's life. Yet, fortune smiles upon Jean as Kim suddenly emerges, swiftly rescuing her. Acting swiftly, he takes her and the others to a safe room where they can be protected from the attacks. On the other hand, a poisoned arrow finds its mark, piercing Kim's back. At the same time, Molly emerges, swiftly eliminating each of Coon's men until none remain standing. Overjoyed at finding Jean unharmed, Molly rushes to her side. Meanwhile, Kim lies unconscious, the venom coursing through his veins. Without delay, Molly administers a small potion, applying much-needed first aid. Not long after, Bao and his companions locate them. Initially, Bao contemplates leaving Kim behind, as another of Coon's men is expected to arrive soon. Yet, Jean pleads earnestly, refusing to abandon Kim in his vulnerable state. Moved by her pleas, they decide to bring Kim to a hidden sanctuary. There, Bao instructs some of their group to escape through the rear, while he and a fellow member take on the task of diverting attention away from their fleeing comrades. Then, while Bao and his friend try to escape, they encounter a problem. They can't understand each other because they speak different languages. This makes it hard for them to communicate because Bao's colleagues are from Indonesia and lacks proficiency in English or Korean like Bao. As Bao and his friend continue walking, something terrible happens. Bao accidentally sets off a hidden trap, and he becomes trapped himself. Then, he tries to tell his friend to run away and save themselves, but his friend doesn't understand and stays with him. Sadly, they both end up facing the same danger. Meanwhile, Kim has reached a safe hiding spot without them knowing. At that time, the skilled healers are there to take care of his injuries and help him get better. On the other hand, at night, Bao and his comrades are discovered by a group of Coon's men, led by a ruthless figure named Jerugal. Jerugal tells that his men will eliminate Bao's companions while sparing Bao himself. The following morning, Bao rushes back to the hiding place, unaware that Jerugal and his men have stealthily trailed him. At that time, Jerugal demands to know the whereabouts of Kim, as Coon desires Kim's swift demise. Met with silence, Jerugal swiftly orders his men to annihilate them all. Meanwhile, Kim remains unconscious, unable to awaken from the poison that courses through his veins. In the fierce battle that unfolds, Bao's group faces defeat, falling one by one beneath the relentless onslaught of Jerugal's men. On the other hand, Jean, driven by courage and determination, confronts Jerugal, but the formidable foe proves too powerful, swiftly overpowering Molly. Witnessing Molly's mistreatment, Bao can no longer bear the sight and launches a desperate attack against Jerugal. Yet, Jerugal cunningly turns the tables, forcing him to pay the ultimate price. However, just as hope seems lost, Kim, newly awakened, descends upon the scene, ready to face Jerugal and his entire gang. After defeating Jerugal's men, Kim finally comes face to face with Jerugal himself and his strong partner. But to Kim's surprise, defeating Jerugal turns out to be quite easy. Only Jerugal's partner, who is a trusted friend of Coon, remains to challenge Kim. However, Kim's incredible skills and strength prove to be unbeatable, and he overcomes this last challenge with ease. Within the confines of the hiding place, only Jean and Molly remain, surrounded by the lifeless bodies of their fallen comrades. Determined, Kim embarks on a visit to Coon's headquarters, where his true target lies, which was Coon himself, the one who took the lives of Kim's beloved wife and children. In a swift and relentless assault, Kim eliminates the remaining men under Coon's command. After defeating Coon's men, Kim finally confronts Coon, who made him really mad. This is a very important moment, where Kim tells Coon a big secret that he also had a part in hurting Coon's family. Not long after, they start fighting each other, which is the result of many years of pain and wanting to get back at each other. So, it's a tough fight, but Kim wins in the end and gives the last hit that stops Coon from being mean to everyone. As the film comes to an end, Jean patiently awaits Kim's arrival on the beach. At that moment, Kim feels really happy and satisfied because he finally got back at the people who hurt him. He feels like he got revenge for all the bad things they did to him. With his mission accomplished, Kim ponders his next move, which was to reunite with Jean and Molly. The film ends. The moral lesson from this film is revenge is the answer to all your problems.